Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent his messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised. And this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul. And we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look through our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become. In being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 326th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I'll be host once again in this weekly series of workshops that's been ongoing for over 6 years now. And we are joined once again with members of the Universal Council and support members. And they will be presenting today's show. And let me get that presentation ready to go now.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome so much to Swagatam into the beautiful energy in the totality of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome to the beautiful energy of all lovely souls, universal indeed, and welcome to all that is needed. Like, you know, welcoming love, sharing love to each other. Welcome in this realm of love in Keshe Foundation. Thank you and salam, namaste, salute. I want to say some few words of my experiences as we elevated our ability within this ethos of Mitra, like even understanding things about truth and lies in a way in this physicality. When I was growing up, when in the 15, 16, I was from other children, I was a little bit, uh, you know, uh, not social as we know, and not. I always search about other things. If there is this things of physicality, I search for other things, and I ask. We go to a picnic for in villages, and there is always, when the wheat harvest and the wheat comes and the rice comes, there is a harvesting time. Suddenly, the severe hailstorm comes, and storm and hail come, big hail, and all the wheat and rice destroy all the wheat and rice, and the river suddenly dries up. There is a drought suddenly, and sometimes I felt at that time also this this is not true. This is not true at all. It is with our ability we can understand this is not true. And I asked the farmers there that uh, Dada, what is happening? Why the hail comes when there is a time of harvest? Why these hailstorm destroys everything? Why the Saraswati river dries up? Why can you tell me? So he said, yes, this is our destiny. This has always been like that. Everything that, and they blame God for this. Sometimes, like Lord Shiva destroys everything because this is our destiny. We have to suffer like that. But then I understand that these are not true. These are not true at all. This shouldn't be happening. This is not the type the universal unified field work as we know now. It is our ability to search the truth, to be in the truth. That is the key. That is the key. And when he starts receiving the truth, then everything elevates from within you to all that is. So I will say this is our ability, our strength. So, well, I will not use the word powerful, but the beauty and totality that is within us. And when we understand, start this balancing of all that is, we understand what is true, what is not true, and everything changes as we are saying this transmutation. So I will say be a part within this transmutation as we are not separate ever. As I am transmuting, you are also check your ability, understand your ability. So we are also growing up, learning our ability. So fasten your seatbelt because time is here. Thank you, my dear, for listening, and salam, namaste, salam. Now we go to the next.
Hello, everyone. Now we read the powerful wishes of the Universal Council team. We, the Universal Council, wish that the coming transmutation preparation sessions will be a big jump for every knowledge seeker in their own development for plasma traveling. We, the Universal Council, are here to serve for the needs of all souls in different areas for humanity, peace, justice, and creating abundance with the ethos of the Universal Council Charter.
We, the Universal Council, create balance in the climate and with the force of nature for the benefit of the entire planet.
We, the Universal Council, create conditions for all the souls to be protected and also alleviate their suffering using the plasma technology knowledge.
We, the Universal Council, wish Germany and Russia have found a peaceful solution, avoiding any conflict and processing within peaceful conditions.
We are
We, the Universal Council, support all the knowledge seekers in building up the KF distributions and stores with our love and care. We, the Universal Council, give freely from our soul to all the inhabitants of Rio Grande do Sul to overcome the flood disaster and recover fast.
It's me, Andrea, again, Universal Council support member of the German community. I invite everybody for the soul connection today with giving all your unconditional love and inner peace. Versuche eine entspannte Haltung einzunehmen, im Sitzen oder im Liegen. Lass alles los. Atme 3-mal tief ein und aus. Und nun stelle dir vor, wie goldgelbe Sonnenstrahlen in die Mitte deines Kopfes eindringen und in die Mitte deines Herzens. Fühle diese warme, liebevolle Energie. Lass diese goldgelbe Sonnenenergie in deinem Herzen immer größer werden. Lass dein Herz nach außen strahlen. Nun reichen wir uns alle die Hände und verbinden uns auf der ganzen Welt mit der universellen Gemeinschaft und senden unsere bedingungslose Liebe und unseren Frieden hinaus in die Welt. Ganz besonders zu allen Lebewesen in Gaza, im Süden Brasiliens. Und gleichzeitig sind wir mit dem Friedensdom verbunden. Let your inner sun shining and come slowly back in this moment. Thank you.
And if you enjoyed the process that we just went through for the last few minutes, the Universal Council invites the Keshe family and the Universal Council family in unifying at the soul level every day at 9 p.m. Central European Summertime for the elevation of all souls and the protection of the physicality in the universe. Many of us think we're powerless, that we have not a lot of ability to change things. But as we hear around the Keshe Foundation and in the holy books, I made the man in the image of myself. It's just a different amount, a different size, and a different strength. So you can join us collectively and you can make a difference every day by getting interactive. And you can extend that to every minute of your life. And we're learning to make a difference in so many ways, not using the matter state, but using the power of the souls collectively. We work with the plasma on the field dimension, and we see the manifestation of these fields in the matter state. Of course, it's not a day job. It's not a snapping of the fingers and everything changes, although that is a possibility. But we're learning to share our souls, to elevate others in so many ways. We're learning to pray through our soul, that we can reach others. And how could we possibly do this? Because we have a mother connection through the soul of the Creator, which exists in each and every dimension and each and every entity, whether they've manifested in the matter state or they are in the dimension of energy. So we're learning to give through our souls without any prejudice, not so much by words or thoughts, but by emotions. And this is the way, in a way, we're understanding how life in the universe works. And this is a new way in so many ways and how to share. We're also learning we can open our soul to any soul, to elevate any soul, that they receive as much as they need. So we don't pray for an individual man as such, but we give to the soul of the man. And we're asking you to spend time every day in this process. Of course, it's totally up to you and it's your decision. But as we heard in the video played, if it's your wish to see peace, path of peace is made very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create a position of change, no other thing. And this is a test in so many ways for mankind to learn to give to souls in need, let's say. And the beauty of this whole process, and this is directly from Mr. Keshe, nobody fails this test. We can learn to fulfill the souls of the others, that they have no needs, that they have enough. And we don't probably understand how low some of these souls are, that they aren't able on their own in so many ways to change their position. So we're sort of stepping into the balance in a way. We're not punishing them for their wrong deeds or their wrong actions. We're actually elevating them to make a change. And when the soul is satisfied, we will see the physicality change direction. And we can also pray for our own souls. If you feel you don't have the strength to do this sort of thing, that you feel you're weak, you can pray for yourself that your soul becomes elevated, that or evolved, that we can reach others who are trying to reach. And of course, every soul can reach this level of giving, that the others can find peace and development. And we can stop the wars of the man within himself. We can correct this, the wars with other nations and with other men. And of course, this will touch the ones that are operating behind these religious leaders or world leaders, that we can even touch them through this process. So I want to thank you for considering being part of this collective. And you'll find that you can be proud of the work you do, and you can be proud of the person you are, and you can be proud of the difference you're making. So I want to thank you, and again, encourage you to join this process. We're not keeping tabs or tracks of anyone, but it's just a collective joining on the energy level to bring the change in the dimension of fields and see it manifest in the matter state. So I want to thank you for listening to me. And again, in a way, if you understand this process, you can participate in it and even extend the work of your soul to not only elevating others to a peaceful, permanent condition, but also many other things that we're learning in the plasma dimension about perhaps feeding yourself, transmuting yourself, transporting yourself, and doing many things that we've been told are total impossibilities. But we know we have no limitations, and we invite you all to experience this beautiful process. Thank you.
Okay, now we have the most recent video interchange with Marie. And just let me get that set up here. Okay, I'm ready for the video, and we'll start playing it now at around the 11-minute mark.
That arrived.
Okay, so I have prepared an introduction. This introduction is taken from the Knowledge Seekers Workshop 534. I thought it was interesting. It's Mr. Keshe's vision of how humanity can get rid of the shackles of physicality and find freedom.
Então a Maria, ela trouxe um pedaço, né, do ensinamento extraído do 534, do KF 534. E, na verdade, ela trouxe porque ela achou interessante que o Sr. Keshe, ele fala como nós nos libertarmos da fisicalidade. Então, é um trecho interessante que nós iremos passar aqui para vocês.
And there's a question from the audience. Will the cosmic ray communication unit be the way to communicate when we travel with a UFO? And Mr. Keshe answers, you should have established that by then, through your own soul.
Então foi um trecho também só adicionando que foi uma pergunta feita por um buscador. Então a pergunta foi: as unidades de comunicação de raios cósmicos serão um meio de comunicação quando viajarmos com um OVNI? O Sr. Keshe responde: a essa altura, você deve estabelecer isso por meio de sua própria alma.
If governments or if people understand how powerful the future of the cosmic ray units are, a lot of governments would change position. Because with the normal telephone, you get to the physicality of the man. With the cosmic ray unit, you can touch the soul of the man yourself. Because the interaction of the soul with the soul of the dimension of whoever you interact with creates the condition of the manifestation of the emotion. You don't need to do anything else.
Então, se os governos ou se as pessoas entendessem o quão poderoso é o futuro das unidades de raios cósmicos, muitos governos mudariam de posição. Porque com um telefone normal, você chega à fisicalidade do homem. Com a unidade de raios cósmicos, você pode tocar a alma do homem por si mesmo. Porque a interação da alma com a alma da fisicalidade de quem quer que seja, com quem você interage, cria a condição da manifestação da emoção. Você não precisa fazer mais nada.
When I met somebody a few days ago, within the first 10 seconds, I had an impression and I explained my impression. And within 5 minutes of the person present, it came clear to me that what I felt the first 10 seconds was correct. In the past, I used to stay silent. I never discussed. This was something I felt. I lived the time to come. But now I express that emotion, what I feel. You can call it the sixth sense. I call it the interactions of the souls. So, do I need the cosmic ray unit to get that feeling? Or do I build it and I trust it and I start to live it, by it? And this is how it will be for us in space. And these cosmic communication units are the beginning of it.
Então, quando conheci alguém alguns dias atrás, nos primeiros 10 segundos, tive uma impressão e expliquei minha impressão. E dentro de 5 minutos da pessoa presente, ficou claro para mim que o que senti nos primeiros 10 segundos estava correto. No passado, eu costumava ficar em silêncio. Eu nunca discutia. Isso foi algo que eu senti. Eu vivi o tempo que está por vir. Mas agora expresso essa emoção. O que eu sinto, você a chama de sexto sentido. Eu a chamo de interação das almas. Então eu preciso da unidade de raios cósmicos para ter esse sentimento? Ou eu desenvolvo e confio nele e começo a viver por ele? E assim será para nós no espaço. E essas unidades de comunicação de raios cósmicos são o começo disso.
In the coming months, we will introduce the Cosmic Communication Unit as part of a new development in technology. It's another part of the process of the creation of us living. A donkey does not pay for its food. A dog does not pay for its shelter. A fish does not pay to be in the water. It is God-given rights, and he has to be free. But as humans, as we develop the financial limitation with the new technology, we will reverse it step by step.
Então, nos próximos meses, vamos apresentar as unidades de comunicação de raios cósmicos, como parte de um novo desenvolvimento em tecnologia. Mas, na verdade, a comunicação por meio da alma é uma parte natural do processo da criação e da vida. Um burro não paga por sua comida. Um cachorro não paga por seu abrigo. Um peixe não paga para estar na água. É seu direito dado por Deus, e ele deve ser gratuito. Mas, como humanos, desenvolvemos a limitação financeira. Com a nova tecnologia, vamos reverter isso passo a passo.
And if you read the patents, they're all in the patents. How to take the shackles of man, bindings in physicality that doesn't allow the growth of the soul. The time to elevate the understanding of creation has come with this technology. It's been in front of you, but you don't see it. It's written in the patent that one day you can find freedom from the shackles of physicality. And then you will have time to create the condition of elevation of the soul of the man. In part of the patents, it says fridges which does not need any energy supply, cookers that has its own gas supply. What does that mean? It means I give you a technology that generates its own gas. It generates its own energy for you to cook, to keep you warm, to have light, to communicate with.
Então, se vocês lerem as patentes, está tudo nas patentes. Como tirar as algemas do homem, as amarras da fisicalidade que não permitem o crescimento da alma. A hora de elevar o entendimento da criação chegou com essa tecnologia. Isto esteve diante de vocês, mas vocês não veem. Está escrito na patente que um dia vocês encontrarão a liberdade das algemas da fisicalidade, e então vocês terão tempo para criar uma condição de elevação da alma do homem. Em parte da patente diz, geladeiras que não precisam de nenhum suprimento de energia, fogões que têm seu próprio suprimento de gás. O que isso significa? Significa que eu dou a vocês uma tecnologia que gera seu próprio gás, gera sua própria energia para vocês cozinharem, para mantê-los aquecidos, para ter luz, para se comunicar.
Then you don't have to become a slave to work to pay for the gas, to pay for the electricity, to have water, to have light, to have means of communication. The patents of the Keshe Foundation are the way to freedom of the soul of the man and the physicality of the man from the shackles of what have been put on the man.
Então vocês não se tornam escravos para trabalhar para pagar pelo gás, para pagar pela eletricidade, para ter água, para ter luz, para ter um meio de comunicação. As patentes da Fundação Keshe são o caminho para a liberdade da alma do homem e da fisicalidade do homem, das algemas do que foi imposto ao homem.
What does it mean when I put in a cooker which supplies its own energy? It means there is no cable for electricity to the wall that they can disconnect in the winter, so you and your child suffer. No one can take you to ransom. The patents of the Keshe Foundation are the freedom of the man from the shackles which man have made for himself.
O que significa quando colocam um fogão que fornece sua própria energia? Significa que não há cabo para eletricidade na parede, que eles possam desconectar no inverno para que você e seu filho sofram. Ninguém pode te fazer de refém. As patentes da Fundação Keshe são a liberdade do homem das algemas que o homem fez para si mesmo.
Maybe for the first time you understand, it's the Bible of the science of the freedom of the man, and man have to be free both in the dimension of physicality and dimension of energy. It says gravitational and energy, dimension of physicality, and the universe. And if one day, when man understands the purpose of these patterns, man finds the key to freedom in all dimensions of creation.
Talvez, pela primeira vez você entenda. É a Bíblia da ciência da liberdade do homem. E para o homem ser livre, tanto na dimensão da fisicalidade quanto na dimensão da energia. A patente diz: gravitacional e energia, dimensão da fisicalidade e o universo. E se um dia, quando o homem entender o propósito dessas patentes, ele encontra a chave para a liberdade em todas as dimensões da criação.
We wrote the patents in 2005. These are not ordinary knowledge. These are the knowledge which frees the man from the shackles of everything they have put around you to abuse you. When in the house you have a system where your cooker has its own power, your fridge has its own power, who do you need to pay? Who can come and disconnect you? Who can make you work 3 shifts just to pay the electricity bill?
Escrevemos as patentes em 2005. Este não é um conhecimento ordinário, este é o conhecimento que liberta o homem das algemas de tudo que colocaram ao seu redor, para abusar de você. Quando em casa você tem um sistema em que seu fogão tem sua própria energia, sua geladeira tem sua própria energia, quem você precisa pagar? Quem pode vir e desconectar você? Quem pode fazer você trabalhar em 3 turnos apenas para pagar a conta da eletricidade?
Now you understand. We have given you the knowledge of creation. Now that is 20 years later, we start educating you. You understanding the beauty, the secrets in the patterns, step by step, gravity and energy. Gravity is tangibility, physicality of the man. Energy is the cosmic rays. But you don't understand they're connected together. But in a few years' time, when you have a fridge which doesn't need anything, it's just like a table and chair. It has its own energy, and you can cool things in it. You don't need to pay the electricity bill. The cooker, no gas to worry about. Nobody can cut you off electricity. Isn't that freedom? More time for you to spend with your child. More time for you to elevate your soul.
Então agora vocês entendem. Nós lhe demos o conhecimento da criação. Agora, 20 anos depois, estamos começando a educá-los para que entendam a beleza, os segredos nas patentes passo a passo. Falamos sobre gravidade e energia. A gravidade é uma tangibilidade, ou fisicalidade do homem. A energia são os raios cósmicos. Mas vocês não entendem que eles estão conectados. Mas em poucos anos, quando você tiver uma geladeira que não precisa de nada, é apenas uma mesa e cadeira. Ela tem sua própria energia e você pode resfriar as coisas nela. Você não precisa pagar a conta de eletricidade, o fogão. Sem gás para se preocupar. Ninguém pode cortar sua eletricidade. Não é isso liberdade? Mais tempo para você passar com seu filho, mais tempo para você elevar a sua alma.
When you make this gravitational system and you put it in the middle of your garden, you have a shelter. You don't have to worry about homelessness. This is the only reason governments, kings, media, and all these people is trying to crush and control Keshe Foundation, because you're given the key to freedom from all their control.
Quando você faz esse sistema gravitacional e o coloca no meio do jardim, você tem um abrigo, não precisa se preocupar com a falta de moradia. Esta é a única razão pela qual os governos, reis, mídias e todas essas pessoas tentam destruir e controlar a Fundação Keshe, porque a chave para a liberdade de todo o controle deles é dada a vocês.
So, do we need cosmic ray communication? Yes. If you don't know how to do it, it's a simple thing to start with. Would you be able to use it on a UFO? Yes, because it's connected to what you want to connect it to, direction of motion and everything else. In a way, if you take it to the next step and use these cosmic ray units, you don't dial your mom. You know how to connect to the soul of the mom. We teach you how to use the cosmic rays. In the dimension of physicality, you dial a number. In the dimension of cosmic ray, you feel the emotion of the mother and you connect to the mother instantaneously. The number is dialed. You achieve your target. You can tap into the knowledge of the universe. You can tap into one by one. In the beginning, it will feel strange. Coincidentally, accidentally, I thought and it happened. Or did somebody ring the bell for you to go to that emotion to think about it? Then you understand. With these cosmic ray units, you can contact ET from the depths of the universe or from UFOs traveling in the universe. You have a lot to learn.
Então, precisamos das unidades de comunicação de raios cósmicos? Sim. Se você não sabe como fazer, é algo simples para começar. Vocês serão capazes de usá-los em um OVNI? Sim, porque elas podem ser conectadas ao que você deseja conectar, a direção de movimento e tudo mais. De certa forma, se você der o próximo passo no uso dessas unidades de comunicação de raios cósmicos, você não liga para sua mãe. Você sabe como se conectar à alma da sua mãe. Nós ensinaremos vocês como usar os raios cósmicos. Na dimensão da fisicalidade, você disca um número. Na dimensão dos raios cósmicos, você sente a emoção da mãe e se conecta à mãe instantaneamente. O número é discado. Você alcança seu objetivo. Você pode acessar o conhecimento do universo. Pode acessar um por um. No começo parece estranho. Por coincidência, por acidente, eu pensei e aconteceu. Ou alguém tocou a campainha para você ter essa emoção para pensar sobre isso. Então você entende. Com essas unidades de comunicação de raios cósmicos, você pode contactar ETs das profundezas do universo ou OVNIs viajando pelo universo. Vocês têm muito a aprender.
Read the theory in the 3 books. Find the practicality in the patterns. And you find the secrets about creation in both dimensions of physicality and the soul. If you go back and say, the Egyptians understand, and they were talking about this, it's because in those days everything was plenty. They had nothing to do but to understand more and more about their own soul and their connection to their own soul. And that's why, and that's how they progressed in everything, because there were no shackles.
Então, leiam a teoria nos 3 livros. Encontrem a praticidade nas patentes e vocês encontrarão os segredos sobre a criação, em ambas as dimensões, da fisicalidade e da alma. Se você voltar e disser, os egípcios entendiam isso e estavam falando sobre isso. é porque naquela época tudo era abundante. Eles não tinham nada a fazer além de entender mais e mais sobre sua própria alma e a conexão com sua própria alma. E é por isso, e assim que eles progrediram em tudo, porque não havia algemas.
So that was the introduction for today. So we can continue with the questions and answers.
Yes.
Answered by the Universal Council.
Yes. Thank you, Marie.
Okay, thank you to
Thank you,
Claudia and Marie. Yes.
Yeah.
And let me get back to our presentation here. And it's time for readings of the last Knowledge Seekers workshop.
Extract from the 537th Knowledge Seeker Workshop. As I always said, the body of the man is another cosmos, is another universe. It's just for us to understand how this universe works. It's for us to understand how we transfer energies of the cosmos or unicos in the vacuum of the body of the man in allowing it to operate. And like that every star comes to this step 2 in a way to dissolve, to open up, to lead to creation of fields which he gathered from 4 new life. It's the same with our lives, our physical life. We are one of those stars created, gathers energy, and then it goes through a supernova. We call it death. And it has some residuals, some physical bits, and in essence, what we call supernova, that a massive energy is released. That rays of energy we call in the soul of the man when it's released from the body of the man. And then we have created different names for the next steps. White dwarf, black dwarfs, and the rest of it. But in fact, there is no difference between the process and the time of what we watch in cosmos. When we see in the star explodes a physical dimension of it, and it just becomes a huge energy, and this energy released in dimensions leads to creation of other lives in the space of that galaxy. Or when the galaxy hit each other and come to that point of galaxy or supernova. That is again, as I said, we have chosen too many terminologies for the same effect. The supernova is the man's time of death. It's the same. We see some white bits left. We call it the bone afterwards. But in essence, at the point of the separation and the explosion, when the energy increases to such a point, the soul, the energy of the star, releases itself into the atmosphere, into the environment of the solar system and the universe. And if one day man learns this, man would understand that every death is a supernova. Doesn't matter if it's an ant, a man, a dog, destruction of a stone, or cutting of a tree. We release energies which holds that entity together, operates to look like a stone, to look like a man, to look like a dog, to look like a tree. And at a point when physicality reaches the point of maturity of the central energy to the supernova, which is death of the man, we see the separation and one leaves behind what it was age or was the process for it to evolve. One of the biggest miseries for the world of science of today is, can we capture these? How we capture these? And when a cosmic ray is on the path to another point or position, which is attracted to, can we capture it?
Shweta, are you able to read?
Yes, yes. It's just to have, yeah, thank you. I was opening it in number by, sorry, I apologize. Those we capture, we deny. Those which become part of us, we have deliberately ignored. As I said many times before, when of this time astronauts saw flashing lights in their eyes, those cosmic rays, which in balance with the salt salinity of the liquid of the eye of the man, converted to photons, to energies, we captured a ray of the Creator, most probably in one of them. And would that brought enlightenment to the one who captured it, accidentally or deliberately? Man has tried again as through his ignorance, because it gives it a position of being more intelligent, has called these neutrinos. But again, through the same ignorance, they have gone to the depth of the mines and to the depth of the earth, and in different laboratories created facilities that try to capture neutrinos, because they never understood that water tank, that facility they created, is in the body of the man, the brain of the man. Every cell of the body of the man, your liver, your kidney, is one of those tanks. Because we never understood that we absorb 80% of our life energy through the cosmic rays, through the environmental energy. And this has become the biggest, what I have seen in the world of science. We talk about the astronauts seeing the photons and we deny it. And we go and set facilities in the deepest part of the earth that will be a pure light. When this photon goes through the earth, we can capture it and we say, we have seen it. If these scientists give Keshe Foundation facilities within minutes, I show them so many photons in the depth of the earth in these tanks that they will be puzzled where they made a mistake. They have not made a mistake. What they don't understand, is the truth about conversion of the matter's energy fields, cosmic rays, magnetic field rays, and their separation. And this is where the world of science will suffer till come to understand. Coincidentally, accidentally, or what, purposely, by the wish of whatever, as we speak today, as we heard in the intro about the creation of the cosmic rays, the ways it's done in the universe creation of energy. Today is getting tested in the labs of Keshe Foundation, and our scientists are observing how the game is played in the world of creation. How when you create fields in the matter state, it's different when you create fields in the environment of the body of the man. And when we understand this, then we come to the point where we come to the point where we can dictate life. Thank you.
Keshe Foundation this week through the wellness centres has released the condition that for them to test for all conditions which has been unsolvable for the wellness of the man. And because now our team is ready to move to that stage, our team is ready to create life. Our team is ready to create life the way it's done in the universe. You, as we said, have the fields of the energies of a fish in the atmosphere of the earth. When you create the right condition at the right depth with the right environment of the water, you see fish where there were never fish before, and they're always the same. Now we understand that process. Now we understand the reason that the fish appears in the water wells or in the middle of nowhere. It's not that there was nothing there. It's just because the seed, the eggs of the fish in the past, on every corner of this planet was seeded. Sorry, every corner of this planet was seeded. All this land we see sometimes was under the water, and inevitably the magnetic field environment of the seed of the life is within it. If man understand this, and if man creates the right condition with the amount of interactions the man has had and left, the interaction of the seeds and the sperms in the depths of the soul of this planet. In these water wells, we create the right condition. Child of man will be born the same as a fish, because we understand the process. We understand the principle. We can create that process in this principle. The knowledge has to be extended to this level, but it's for the man to understand, to separate the magnetic field in the matter state and the magnetic field in the plasma state and the magnetic field in the environment of the universe. Again, we have chosen the same words, but for 3 or 4 different, what we call conditions and life. In one of our teachings in Farsi, I explained this in a very simple way. You see the flag of Iran, the lion, it's called the Shah. But how you understand the interaction of that word, the sentence, brings you to the understand what you're talking about, because Shah is the milk we drink, has the same word, and then Shah is the same tap where we open the water to come. It's for us to understand how it's used. If a lion in its milk, or in its tap water, and this is what our world of science, our world of knowledge have not understood, the separation and application and the need and the outcome to understand which way, what sits where and how this is applied. And we talking about the magnetic field as a cosmic ray. Thank you.
Sorry, my mic is closed. Are we talking about the magnetic field and the matter magnetic field? Are we talking about magnetic field in essence of connection between the two? And to what extent we understand this separation? Now, it's for you as knowledge seekers to understand the separation between the cosmic rays as a magnetic field, but in a different condition environment. The change of these cosmic magnetic fields into the matter state that manifests itself as a matter and then condition of where and how some of these magnetic gravitational fields, creation of gravitational fields that what you call a magnet. And once the scientists understand this, the connection, the separation, and anyway, application of if the world of science will be different. Well, you will be able to create life in nowhere and where you can change life into field to nowhere. As I said before Christmas, we found one of the spawn of fishes moving from a tank back in the tube. What it was before, we put the fish through the cycle and then we returned it back to the original tank. And within few minutes, the fish transmuted. Because it went back to the source of the essence of no physical condition. In a way, when we achieved the first transmutation, this was even scientists are so advanced, baffled in could not believe. It's like when we say, oh, I took these scans, but it changed my condition. But it could be something else because I still don't believe in what I've done. And then when we use it a second time, we see the same stuff. Maybe cult begins at the time, and this is what we need in the world of the science to understand the transfer, the interaction, the amalgamation, the coordination, and the condition that each field, each ray, each magnetic line operates work. As we are saying, entangled. You cannot be a cosmic ray. You cannot be a cosmic field and come passing in and through my body if you are not entangled with you, the field in my body, or you are entangled with another field, could be another side of the universe. You are on the way there, but you get captured or part of the energy of you get released to set up my body because I create a condition of need, not a condition of graph, and you give and you go. Thank you.
You need some of this? You take. I have enough. I'm on my way. If our knowledge seekers, if the scientists come to understand this point, then you'll find the eternal life. The eternal life comes from understanding the truth about the creation and to be able to replicate it. Eternal life is not exclusivity of Creator, as we are part of it. But we have to understand when and how we manifest ourselves, or we are in transition from one to another. And this is the most important part of the teaching, in part, because it brings the man back to understand about his Creator, his creation, and his manifestation. Book number 1, book number 2, book number 3. And again, through book number 2, back to book number 1. Matter state to energy transfer to manifestation of their fields, and manifestation of the field back to transmutation, to become a matter. This is what we call transmutation. Again, in the future, I teach you about transmutation of the plasma and transmutation of the matter. There's a big difference between transmutation of the plasma than transmutation of the matter. But you can merge the two together, and you can work together to create both. Transmutation of the plasma is transferring you and your body from A to B. Transfer of the matter is the coin in your pocket when we transmuted you, the clothes on your back when we transmuted you. So the knowledge needs to be combined together. The matter state transfer, the matter state transmutation, the matter state transfer, and transmutation. In the teaching in the past, I said, well, when we take you from London to New York, you turn up there for the wedding. But no, with no wedding clothes, because we couldn't transmute it. You transfer from one cold place to a hot place You cannot appear in a fair coat and the boots, because the soul of the emotion will create the clothes, the color you like, and everything else to befit you at the point of manifestation. Changing and understanding this brings us to a new dimension of science, the science that man has never known, but has always been there. It's part of its own creation. It's part of its daily operation. As I said many times before, the present world of pharmaceuticals has a big problem. It tries with chemotherapy to sort out the tumor, but it has not understood that the tumor here is created through the emotion of the soul, the brain of the man. Thank you.
And that's why we see the cancer comes back. We call it metastasis. It doesn't metastasize, impossibility. If you sort out the emotion, which is another part, which is connected to the universal field, is what we call evolutionary cancer, part of this. That we want to evolve to become part of the other races in the universe. We have matured and we are on the way to that position. We have a point of reference. We are connected to that point of reference, and we are evolving to reach that point. Be it in lasting life, being in maturity of understanding the world of creation, we call it the science, or be it to be part of the dynamic structure of the creation. As I said before, we try to open the subject of the creation to cosmic rays, that you understand why and how. Is evolution in our life, which leads to some 10% of the cancers. Is that we are trying to match, not to grow in the one direction, but to match to another line, which we have received as an information, as a knowledge through cosmic rays, that in entangling with the other. We try to match, we are getting fat, but we are feeding back something too. And as the body cannot process it, it gathers that energy in one position. That position becomes what we call a cancer point. How would our scientists or physicians or doctors and everything else we have start to actually, by testing the blood of the man, testing the physicality of the man, to tell the patient from day one, you have evolutionary cancer, you have accidental cancer, you have what we call emotional cancer. And by identifying it through the composition of the fields within the body of the man and through the emotion of the man, tell the patient, this we can do, this we cannot do, this is possibility. When the knowledge of the man reaches to that point, then you can tell the person, we can 100% reverse your cancer. In a way, we understand the origin of it, the cause of it, the reason for it, and where we apply cosmic rays, where we bring the information which you cannot digest to untangle the energy balance. You call it the cancer in your body, of evolution site, where is converted by accident the energy into the matter condition of the cancer cell. We call it accidental. And where your own emotion has created your cancer. In which fields? Can we use cosmic rays for all three? Can we use combination of the all three? And then find answer to all. This is what the Keshe Foundation Wellness Center is now, are under research and development. And we put out for what we call trials, because we think our scientists have reached that point to be able to deliver. The separation between the fields, understanding the cosmic rays, understanding the interaction and conversation of cosmic rays, and understanding the position of the matter state of cosmic rays. Thank you.
Okay, next we have a video called, excuse me, called The Privilege of Becoming a Satellite Soul. And I'll play that now.
There is a huge burden on you who became satellites. Try to understand that with what happened in Linz this week and with the first test, we have set a precedence for the whole change of the structure. Your child cries, he doesn't talk, you reach his soul, you understand where the pain is. You have a mentally handicapped child. You want to know how you can bring the change. You reach the soul. Does the physicality matter? Those of you who are beautiful people will come to understand, to see all the members of the family within the one physical structure. We shall see from what we saw this week, end of what I call, or the beginning to an end of the knowledge of what we build and nourish as prisons. We see an end to addiction. We see an end to criminality, and we see an end to kingship. We see the beginning of how we transmute people's soul, elevate them, nourish them, and like a dream you had, return back to them. What we saw this week in Linz, without a doubt, will bring massive changes to many of us. And as a head of the Keshe Foundation and responsible for setting up the one race planet, as I have agreed before I arrived here, will endeavor to bring that as fast as possible to be applicable, that it brings a positive change. The world is going through a position of mayhem. Not knowing uncertainty, and this uncertainty is creating more problems in the coming months and years, and we are here to use it to change the course for peace. We are not standing for elections, we are not standing to interfere with powers. We elevate the soul of the man in a very massive way. Now there are physical systems, and it can be shown, and it will be developed for all levels of understanding. This process of transmutation of the soul and transmutation of soul of physicality, which is confirmed this week, will bring us many, many changes. Will bring us amazing amount of changes. I hope, as human race, as knowledge seekers, you understand what you have entered into and what you have brought to be, and what is about to come, and how much change it will come and bring for all of us.
Thank you, Rick. It's Dean here. I'd just like to say a few words regarding the privilege of becoming a satellite soul. And thank you, Rick, for playing the video as always. Rick is obviously, like many of the knowledge seekers and the many of the people that that are present constantly, being a satellite soul, they've given from their soul for the soul of humanity, for the soul of all the souls present. They ask nothing for it. They have an ability to transcend and be part of something where they release the energy that they have within themselves for others to receive. They become a soul that transmutes and helps other souls through the understanding and through the teachings of Mr. Keshe. And as Mr. Keshe has just said, reach his soul. So the prisons that we build around ourselves, those prison walls, whether they're physical prison walls to hold the physicality in for something that's been done wrong, if you touch the soul and elevate the soul, then this person can walk away from this particular addiction, which has led to the condition of being imprisoned. But that imprisonment can also be in your own thoughts, your own intentions, your own little reality, where you feel that you're in a prison, when in reality you're not. Because once you let go and once you become what you really are inside, and once the other satellite souls connect to you, then you are free of this condition, this particular moment. Mr. Keshe also mentioned, and I think it's very relevant in these moments, the end of kingship. And I think this is a very poignant thing, because kingship can be from something within inside ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves, the way we are with ourselves. This can be within a relationship, whether it's within a relationship, a physical relationship with another person, or whether that is with how you respond to another soul. Trying to say that I am higher, when through the teachings we understand that no one is higher and no one is lower. So we let go of the seat, the crown of kingship. We understand that we are humble before each and every single one of us. We're all the same. We're a soul having a wonderful experience for many of us on planet Earth. So when we understand that we are here to give to others, for them to experience the beauty of our intentions, and it's the intention. Once you feel something inside, once you release that pure energy, the intention is felt, not just across a visible span of a space which can be from a few meters to an unlimited reach out into the cosmos, out into the unicos, right the way back to the creator. So the intention is known. It's a bit like when I'm sure we've all received this, when you come before another creature, an animal, let's say, and your intention is known by the animal in an instant. It senses, it feels, the soul knows straight away your intention. So if you have a pure intention and you have no need for kingship, no need to be above or higher, but to be equal and to be humble and lenient and all the things that make a soul, you know, in service to each other, a full, wonderful expression of life, and being part of the condition of a soul that is present in this moment. So the privilege of becoming a satellite soul, for many around the foundation and others, I'm sure will be a very, very big privilege, because when one soul receives from all the other souls for taking a position, then you will receive this energy from many, many different souls across the universe and across planet Earth. And that is a wonderful privilege and an honor for many souls that are in service to others constantly, and understand the beauty of that wonderful condition inside themselves, that plasmatic condition, that soul, that sun that sits in the center of our brain. And when we touch, when we link, when we create through that intention, we feel the fields. We become transparent in our intentions and in our deeds, and what we do, what we speak, and how we act. And then, as I said, that seat of kingship is it melts away, because we all are the same. So thank you, Mr. Keshe, for bringing that beauty forward. The privilege of becoming a satellite soul. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Right, so okay, we're going to be reading the mandate now. Let me just get this up so I can read it. To find it now. Okay, so this is the mandate that Andrea and myself, Dean, representing the English language as a Universal Council support. We are now going to be reading about the One Planet, One Nation, One Race, the guidance from the Universal Council through establishing a new way of communication and integration for humanity through the following advisories. And this is the areas of operation of the council. It's page 8, Rick. Okay, so I've just briefly read the introduction to it, the areas of operation of the council. So each sub-council meets and operates independently, dealing with the needs of all souls. The Universal Council is currently operating on these following topics, which are topics currently in progress: Universal Council, global policies and their execution, protection of beings and global peace, relations and communications, creating abundance, establishing access to education for every individual, access to reverse conditions, humanitarian services, the ethos and the conduct of the Universal Council Charter. Each of the above topics are further explained below. The operation of the Universal Council will extend more in different levels in the near future. So Universal Council, global policies and their execution. Advice from the Universal Council on these different points. Creating a flexible integration on the different topics on global platform. Setting up and integrating fair internal procedures and team logistic. Achieving fair and balanced global coordination structure. Advice from the Universal Council, integration of the Earth Council Constitution. And there's a Earth Council Constitution link. So that's page 8. And now I'd like to pass it over to Andrea, please. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Dean. The next topic is protection of beings in global peace. Justice for all beings, establish equality for all life forms. True purpose of serving citizens is calling up for global demilitarization. Redirect and guide global military for peaceful humanitarian services. No borders and only an identification card with providing name, date, place of birth. Request mandatory signing of the World Peace Treaty by all citizens and visitors before receiving the new ID card. Relations and communications. Relations and communications are established peacefully through the presence and interactions of the Universal Council language members and their and Universal Council support members and representatives, guiding the communities with the new ethos of the Keshe Foundation. Living in harmony, freedom of travel, equality, and respect of any difference in race, color, and origins, present and visiting from universal communities. Creating abundance. Creating peace through redistribution of all social resources through hospitality and ensuring an abundance of food, shelter, and establishing a thriving income per individual. Establishing access to education for every individual. Through the beauty and experiencing how to serve, more volunteers will be inspired to take part in this process.
Okay, now we go to page 11, which is
10.
Sorry, it's 10, is it? It's 10, sorry. It's page 10. So access to reverse conditions. Every individual needs to have access to the knowledge of how to reverse any condition through the understanding of the relationship between the soul and physicality as taught by Mr. Keshe. And there's a testimonials link. You can get rid of any addictions, doesn't matter what, except one addiction, the paymaster, which is embedded in an RNA. It's the addiction to reproduce, because without it, we don't exist. Why the physical anxiety and the detection of its physical soul, which needs to be satisfied on the physical soul of the body of the man. And if it cannot satisfy it, it becomes addicted, because the soul of the body is aware of it, but the soul of physicality is not aware of it. And they try to match. And that matching needs additional energy because it's on the GANs matter level. So you can subdue it or you can increase it by a physical matter state like sugar or a chemical binding, because it's a rapid release of energy in the structure of the body of the man. Within 24 hours, they cannot even stand the smell of it, because the smell is part of the emotion of the man in the dimension of physicality and the soul of physicality. You can stop any addiction, but some addictions we cannot stop. MT Keshe.
The next topic is humanitarian services through the soul. The Universal Council embraces every soul with an abundance of hospitality and servitude. In case of imminent disasters in different locations on this planet or in the universe, we work through the soul and elevate humanity in establishing a new understanding of how to sense and communicate with other souls. This new communication of sensing and connecting to other souls will create opportunity to support souls anywhere on this planet and beyond. With this understanding, we prevent and support instantly in case of disasters. Through this new understanding and working through the soul, we will elevate the physicality of the man. Because working in metastate physicality means time loss and loss of lives. Because transporting and distributing for delivering of aid, food, shelter, medical, and any assistance takes time for deploying. Working through the soul will be beneficial for all souls. The ethos and the conduct of the Universal Council Charter. An excerpt from Mr. Keshe. We are here to serve, not to be served. Every soul carries the ability of the knowledge between right and wrong. We, the Universal Council, through our own conduct, will show the path. My soul is from the start like a white sheet of paper that from the very beginning receives its small task and challenges every task test, as small as it might look. The physicality needs to pass through its physical contact, through choice between rights and wrongs. Mr. Keshe. This was the daily part from the mandate, and I want to add 2 sentences from myself. So, I mean, it's very important for all of us. Our significant saying, we are here to serve, not to be served, will be now the implantation for the coming time. As Mr. Keshe said 2 weeks ago, the Universal Council mandate, written 2019, is for the time now. together with the Earth Council. We, the Universal Council team members and supporters, can worry about in which area of operation he can bring in the own strengths in practice for mankind and the universal community. Thank you for listening. And Rick, we can go to the next slide.
Hello everybody, this is Mosvik representing Bengali language as a Universal Council member support. As you may know, the coming Friday is going to be another session of our transmutation preparation using the enhancement unit. As has been mentioned, the new enhancement unit or the improved enhancement unit has the capacity to fully support transmutation both at the soul level and the physical level. And it also has safeguard built into it so that if people go beyond a certain limit, it can help them to remain within their capacity. So it is an advancement of the prior system. And this time the operation will be done such that the people participating in this session would be completely on their own. It may sound a little odd, but there won't be much instruction at all. It will be from the beginning, the people, the participating will be in command of what they want to achieve, what is their purpose. And in order to serve that purpose, what are the emotions involved? A clarity of that emotion is paramount. And with that clarity, one can achieve one's goal. Yes, some of these things are not practiced. So the success can happen, but it requires effort within ourselves, the clarity, the purpose, the emotion, and the interactions of various aspects within us, the souls, the physicality, soul of man, all of them. And there, all the emotions play their role. And one may be able to actually manifest in some other place, may leave a trace of them being there to a loved one, perhaps manifestation of a flower. And they may not know where it came from. It may be something else. The person who is there is in charge. Or whatever their purpose and goal is. And it should be a wonderful journey, I'm sure. And everybody is encouraged to participate. And those who have been participating in these meetings in the past few months, which and it will be also a surprise for them in the next month, which is the June. It will be the end of the current set of sessions. So everybody is encouraged. It should be a fun journey, and in doing this transmutation effort, yes, we may not reach the goal, but we have to step in the right direction. And the enhancement unit is there to provide all the necessary cosmic field in this effort of ours. So we wish everybody well in their effort in this, and I'm sure all of us, those who are directly participating with the unit and those who are not, will benefit from it. And benefit in the sense that once one person knows, it is not too long that we have to wait for the rest of us to know. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next slide, which will be a continuation of this. And this is, we will talk a little more about, not the preparation, but some of the different aspects of transmutation. So as we were talking about the preparation, now the preparation, that preparation is through the enhancement unit. You know, it happens every third week of the month, and the next one is, as I've said, coming Friday. But between these, there is a month there for us to do something. Mr. Keshe in his presentation said last Thursday that you have a week to prepare, but we have months between these sessions. What we do then, we have a lot of time in our hand. So here, the clarity of emotion. What does that mean? Clarity of emotion, that our physical side of brain, there is the aspect of emotion we are all familiar with. The soul of physicality in its interaction with the environment. There is that emotion, we have names for it. And for these emotions, not it, we have names for these emotions. And then there are the emotions between the soul of man and soul of physicality. These are unnamed ones, but emotion nevertheless, emotion for us to explore. Explore in the sense of becoming familiar with them. Perhaps a little example might serve here. You know, sometimes, you know, we go to a gathering, let's say, and we see a person among many, and something, some sensation comes to us, is that, yeah, this person is this way, either repulsive or attractive, either way. But something is striking about this person. There is, you know, there is no emotion that we can name. It's not anger or whatever, happiness or any of these things. It's just a feeling. What is this emotion? It doesn't have a name for it. Is it in the fields of the soul of physicality and the soul of man? So these are things we have to come to terms with as we explore the power of our emotion. And then there is the further level of emotion, which of course requires a bit of familiarity with these unnamed emotions that I'm referring to. That is the emotion of the interaction between the soul of man and the Creator. Is it possible to sense that emotion? Why not? For our soul of man is a manifestation of the Creator's soul. So there are a number of things we have opportunities to explore. And then all these emotions leave traces in our physicality, in our daily lives, in the interactions with people we love and care, and in the interaction with people we elevate, be the leaders, of the religions or the political leaders, whatever. So when we go on these journeys, these explorations, it is not just us looking into us. In the end, it becomes a service. Service to all. Service to those who love, service to those who need to elevate, all of them. And by doing so, we elevate our community, our neighborhood, our planet, and the universal community as a whole. Can we feel, here again, this feeling? Can we feel that we are affecting the universal community? Is it possible? Is it tangible? Does this feeling give us a certainty that something we are doing is beyond the bounds of this solar system? And it's not that we now in Keshe Foundation and at this time are doing these things. We must acknowledge those unknown, unsung people who did things like that, were quite capable of it. Maybe our existence at this time in some way relates to these people's contribution over centuries and millennia. And so we talk about service. Let's not forget the service these people who put through their efforts and dedication benefited people then and us now. With gratitude, we must all remember it. And this is one of the things I talked about last time when I mentioned about this song from a village in Bangladesh, which embodies some of these knowledge. It is a gratitude as well as a feeling that we are with others who have paved the way. Today I will bring one such example which we are all familiar with in every part of the world. It is the story of Cinderella. As little kids, we have read it, enjoyed it, we dreamt things about it. But does it embody the knowledge we are talking about? The exploration of the emotions, the operation of the soul, and the transmutation. Let's take a look. I will start with this version that is most common through our educational system, which is the version that comes from the 18th century by Perrault, where the princess transmutes to meet the prince. with the help of the godmother, the pumpkin transforms into a carriage and the horse and everything. Yes, it was amazing to us when we were little, but isn't it transmutation? The ugly little girl dressed in ragged clothes is now dressed in princess's high heel shoe and beautiful dress. Transmutation of the external to meet the prince. And one interesting thing is that this story, in its many forms, and there are hundreds of versions of these that has been collected by researchers. And the oldest recorded one is from Vietnam. It's about 1,000 years old. So this knowledge has been there, practiced by people, although very few, but it existed. And one common characteristic of all these stories is this cinder. The little girl is either tortured by stepsister, stepmother, or whoever. Depends, it varies from story to story. But the theme of cinder, the burned wood, is common everywhere. What does it remind us of? Carbon. Carbon 12, carbon 14, or something else. But carbon nevertheless. In all these versions. It's an amazing thing, too. In addition to the transmutation. So I will go a little more into one version of it, which is the Algonquin Cinderella story, which comes from the American Indian of the Algonquin tribe. The reason I'm taken by this one is that in this case the princess, not the princess, but the prince who the girl is searching for is invisible. And that strikes an interesting chord when it comes to soul. And this invisible prince becomes visible, transmutation, as the girl recognizes him. And again, the cinder appears here. And here, the girl has been tortured with the cinder. And as she discovers this invisible prince, or invisible man, they don't refer to him as prince in this story, but all her scar disappears, transmutation. Her hair grows long, transmutation again. And one of the amazing aspects of this story is its reference to space. The guy who is the invisible one, his bow is made out of the Milky Way. Once again, reference to material outside of the confine of the planet, galactic level. Fascinating. It's really amazing, these stories and the knowledge they embody. So anyway, I welcome everybody to join the dance with their heels and dress in the universal hall of the prince, where the translucents light up the hall, and dance your way into the universe. Oh, and for the matter here is that the guys may be feeling uncomfortable. Do I have to wear the dress? Do I have to have the high heels on and all that? Just lead the girl. You'll be there as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Majid Moshfik. Really, Beautiful, beautiful about Cinderella, as you said. It's a beautiful story for all women to be like Cinderella, you know. And really, really, after all these levels we crossed of many, many pains, now you can say we become really Cinderella now. You can say the merge of a being from this realm to that realm. Like, you know, the prince, the invisible prince, now visible. So, road to the cosmic dance for with the prince, and of course, all men be the prince. So, um, so gravity in it, and the magnitude is us, Cinderella's. And this is the beauty, my dear, that the Cinderella is on the path to the golden city to meet the prince, the city of gold, El Dorado. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for explaining all these beauties that creates a trigger in the heart with full of love. You know. Thank you. Experiencing uh, the love and Cinderella is transmuting, was transmuting, and the godmother was helping her, like all our teachers helping us. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Now we can go to the next presentation. Here you bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council. As one nation, one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. And be the Cinderella for you and for all. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, dear beautiful souls.
Thank you, Sweta. It's Dean here. I'd like to, as usual, say a few words here, if this is okay. And following on from Mosfeq, thank you for that wonderful transmutation. You took us into another place and you explained some very beautiful knowledge. Thank you, Mosfeq. Very, very, very wise and wonderful. Thank you. Going back to the bringing the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. And where does that peace start? It all starts within us, within our own structure, within our own thoughts, words and actions. Rick, could you please show the image that I sent you, please? Thank you. So there's an image here that has been shown in the foundation before, and this is an image of a plasma. This is the image of plasma in motion. This is real plasma. This is the light from within. This is a reactor where the plasma has been ignited within itself, from itself. This is the light of the creation, a plasma. It starts from within and it illuminates from within. And that interaction in the environment that is taking place in is manifesting itself for you to physically see. However, that interaction with inside itself, that plasma, which as we know from an atom to a universe, everything is a plasma, everything. So this interaction is happening countless trillions of times in all around us, everywhere. And we're unaware of it. Not always, but most of the time, we're unaware of this interaction taking place, taking position. It's like an interaction of the sun, creating that wonderful condition where it creates an environment for many, many other souls to flourish and to become present. It starts a new creation. Going back to what I said earlier on, when we were talking about satellite souls, and we spoke about the babies. As a baby, we cry. So from the very first instant, we then create an emotion. We get a response, maybe sometimes, and then the emotion starts. The interaction starts. The filters start being laid down. Those field interactions. So we find ourselves interacting in the environment as a plasma. And the more interactions we have, the more filters we put forward. We surround ourselves by it. It becomes part of the process for us. But when we start to interact as a plasma by understanding to reverse the process, as Mr. Keshe was saying earlier on. So when we start to discharge our emotions, the baby is just learning to engage the emotions. And then we come to, as we get more enlightened, more knowledge, and we start to act once more like a baby. This is where we have to discharge our emotions in order to remove the filters that we put before ourselves, that we build up layer by layer by layer, emotion by emotion by emotion. And this is how we get addicted, how we create environments where we believe all of it. We create it without even realizing, layer by layer, bit by bit, filter by filter, force, field interactions, bit by bit. We become gravitational. We drag the emotion forward. When we can understand and start to act like this plasma, it balances itself. It is the creation point. It is that blank canvas. It hasn't got the emotions attached to it that are creating the environments for us to interact in, to create our realities, to create our illusions of what we believe to be so. So this is a plasma, and I always remember this interaction, this wonderful point when Mr. Keshe, I think Rick was present when this was shown, and this plasma was ignited, it was shown, and when you understand, when you start to realize the interaction from this plasma is the same process from any condition, from an atom, as I said earlier, to a universe. And we all have this inside ourselves, is part of us. And then this is linked to a much bigger picture. And all the souls join up together, become this one plasma that goes back to creation. And as Mr. Keshe has said many times in his in the ways explain things, what are we fighting for when we all end up in the same place? All of us. We all go back to this condition as a plasma, and we're part of it. So what you as a plasma give out, the others receive, and vice versa. We know in the physical form, when we breathe the air in, it's from all the other souls that have consumed this oxygen in this environment on planet Earth. And then when they exhale, we breathe it in again. I physically breathe in what you give, what in a physical form, and vice versa again. And that countless interactions of plasmas in the physicality happens continuously with everything that we do. So from a viewpoint of creation, if we look at this one plasma and we stop just for a moment, just stop and be present when we look at this plasma, how does that make you feel? Does that reconnect you? Does that feel like home? Does it feel like it's part of you? Do you sense it? Or do you know it? The foundation has been present and has given much, much knowledge, bit by bit by bit, layer by layer by layer of knowledge. And the knowledge coming forward is transmuting humanity and all other created creatures on planet Earth and beyond. From my own personal experience, the plasma, when you interact with it, when you least expect it, it's present with you. When you think you know it, you don't. And when in an instant you've forgotten about everything, it shows up right in front of you. And then another moment when you're least expecting it, it's gone, it's away. It's in another position. It's the intention, it's the knowledge of the universe. And it's like this fuzzy logic that a certain scientist used to speak about, where he couldn't quite understand why this atom would go through one point and then display itself in another point in time in a totally unrandom way and appear again. That's plasma. And you have this within your structure and it's part of creation. And so this knowledge, this wonderful, beautiful knowledge is being brought forward in this moment for each and every man, cat, dog, and fish, and everything else in between. And every single being that is in an energy form, in a plasmatic condition, and also in a physical form, is present in this moment for each and every one of us. So for my wish in this moment is for all of us to find this plasmatic condition within a peaceful structure of our own thoughts and intentions in this moment, for each and every one of us to receive the knowledge of creation from this plasma. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Sweta.
We are present in your beautiful wish, my dear Dean. Beautifully you said, as you always do.
Thank you, Sweta. Thank
The
you.
plasma triggered from within. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. This plasma ball looks like us. So, beautiful indeed. Any other sharing or question? We are all learning, as we all know. Any sharing from anybody?
I'm not seeing anything in particular in our YouTube or webinar chat.
Then all Cinderellas, and the princes, prince, all the prince. Thank you for being here with all the love, in your silence, the love flows. Thank you, dear ones. Thank you so much. And again, I will say that we can go to the uh, next presentation. Here, we are here to serve, not to be served, my dear beautiful souls, the Universal Council. And I again welcome, Suswagatam into the beauty and totality, the beautifulness of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome to the beautiful energy of all souls, universal, in love. Welcome to the beautiful energy of I am and we are present. Thank you, my dear beautiful souls. And I will say, love, join, follow, merge, be like a rainbow to each other, bridge to each other. And I will say, be in Keshe Foundation always. You can feel the love, the nature you are. Thank you. And we all love you, Keshe Foundation, always. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Sweta, and thanks to all the members of the Universal Council and support members for presenting today's show, which has been the 326th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Now, our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, and it's open for anybody who would like to bring up topics of the plasma technology, especially in the practical side. And we welcome various experiments and projects that people have been working on, as well as your personal experiences, and anything under the topic of plasma is okay with that workshop. So that starts tomorrow, Wednesday, May 15th at 7 a.m. Central European Time. And that will be available to those that attend. Now we also have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday, May 16th, and that will be at the usual 9 a.m. Central European Time. Okay, I think that's it for now. Thank you to
But
Jedi
now
Simon
there's
for
no
our background
position to
image.
have a dance.
Yes, we have one last
Have a dance, my dear
addition
beautiful
to our
souls.
workshop here. The Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit
Cosmic dance.
music version for clapping and dancing.
Thank you, my dear beautiful
Shweta,
souls.
for adding your energy to all of us. Okay, let me just make sure I have that selected here. And bye for now, everyone. Have a great day. And thank you, everyone, for being here for today's presentation. Bye for now.